Us, my daughters, and other, goers just thought it was fireworks. We're celebrating Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl, so it's fireworks to celebrate. Next thing you know, well, it was gunfire.
That chaos and a crowd of nearly 1 million people celebrating the Chiefs Super Bowl win. A young mom killed, 22 others injured in a mass shooting where several people were taken into police custody. We know 2 of whom are juveniles. This is the scene in Kansas City today. Police still very visible along the parade route, littered with debris and caution tape. Today we also learned half the victims were under the age of 16. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood with the latest from Kansas City, Missouri.
A day of celebration in Kansas City turning to tragedy just as the parade celebrating the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory was coming to an end. Gunshots ringing out in a crowd of nearly 1 million people outside Union Station in Kansas City. The terrifying event unfolding Wednesday afternoon. Roughly 800 members of law enforcement were present, all rushing to the scene as police snipers scanned the crowd from rooftops.
We did everything to make this event as safe as possible. But so long as we have fools who will commit these types of acts, as long as we have their access to firearms with this level of capacity, then we may see incidents like this one.
Paul Contreras and Trey Filter seen in this video taking down a man believed to be a suspect as he attempted to run from the scene.
I mean, there was a lot of commotion. I could definitely tell that, someone was being chased. Couldn't see much. Heard that get him. I saw a flash next to me. I jumped and remember thinking, I hope this is the who they were talking about.
21 people were shot, 1 person killed. The victim who died identified as a Kansas City radio host, Lisa Lopez Galvin, a local DJ and mother of 2.
Today in Kansas City was a day to celebrate. We woke up this morning excited, and the last thing we ever expected was to have a tragedy in our family.
Among those wounded, 11 children, some of them as young as 6.
The one word I would just use to describe what we saw and how they felt when they came to us was fear.
And authorities are still investigating a motive here, but sources close to this investigation tell ABC News the evidence so far points to this being a street crime and not politically motivated or connected to terrorism. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Kansas City.
And that latest update from police showed it was a dispute in the streets that began this all. We will continue to follow this story as we learn more about the victims and what's next for the suspects. You can download that WHAS11 news app for alerts sent directly to your phone as we get them. An hour from now, anti-gun advocacy groups will rally alongside gun violence survivors in Frankfort. Those attending that rally will include volunteers from the Kentucky chapters of Moms Demand Action and Students Demand Action. It's all part of the annual Advocacy Day, where members meet with state lawmakers to advocate for what they call long overdue gun violence prevention measures. Kentucky's Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman will be at that rally. It's set to start at 1 o'clock this afternoon inside the Capitol Rotunda. Right now, a bill aiming to limit the governor's pardoning power is working its way through Frankfort. It's in response to the hundreds of pardons former Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin issued on his way out of office in 2019. The constitutional amendment would remove a governor's pardon power the month leading up to a gubernatorial election. The power would not return until inauguration. Republican State Senator Chris McDaniel, the bill's lead sponsor, says he wants to guarantee what happened at the end of Bevin's term never happens again.
I think that it is imperative to the foundational issues of justice in the Commonwealth that one individual not be able to short-circuit the entirety of a justice system. That power should not rest in one person who will never again stand accountable in front of the voters.
The bill received quick approval from a Senate committee yesterday and now heads to the full Senate. If the proposal clears the legislature, it would go on to the November statewide ballot for voters to decide. A $5 million women's care facility is coming to downtown Louisville. Norton Health says it reaffirms the importance of access to women's health in this area. This will be on the 5th floor of the Children's Hospital Foundation building on the southeast corner of Chestnut and Floyd. It'll be home to the existing Norton Women's Specialist and Norton OB/GYN Associates medical practices, along with Norton's Women's Doula program. The space will include ultrasounds, a clothing pantry, breastfeeding support, and free valet parking.
I think it's very important for them to feel like they're coming to some place where people care about them and they're excited to come into, right? A lot of people drive from out here and they go far out to another facility because they feel like, oh, the wall paint is brighter, the lights are brighter, I get better care. So what it's the best of being a mile away from home. And you come right up the street and it's somewhere nice, it's modern, it's clean.
A midwife will join the group in early summer, and a Norton Children's maternal fetal medicine specialist office is just located about 2 floors above this for convenient access to high-risk maternity services. The Women's Care Center will open in early March. A former Metro government worker has filed a whistleblower lawsuit against the city, claiming she was fired after voicing concerns about the role of Mayor Craig Greenberg's wife. In the lawsuit, Samantha Ricketts alleges First Lady Rachel Greenberg asked for her to complete a task that was not in her job description and was a violation of the Metro's ethics code. Ricketts decided to report what she believed to be a violation and said she was later fired. The lawsuit states the city violated the Kentucky Whistleblower Act and seeks for a jury trial and unspecified money and other damages. Well, the mayor responded in a statement yesterday saying Rachel leads by example and neither she nor I will be deterred by these hateful, false, and recycled allegations that have no purpose other than to cause harm. A new bill working its way through the Kentucky legislature would provide funding for family members stepping up to raise children. Right now, families only have one chance to decide if they want to take temporary custody of a next of kin child removed from a home or have them placed in temporary foster care. Well, Senate Bill 151 aims to open the door for long-term kinship care. It would also allow family members to apply for state financial assistance like foster parents can do.
You know, all of a sudden taking 5 kids in, that's going to impact them. And so that's kind of where I started, you know, really starting talking to legislators and trying to get the word out. If we have these kids that are in the system and they're being placed with family, those kids need supports just as much as other kids that are in the system.
The legislation is currently in the hands of the House and expected to be voted on by next week. Over in Nelson County, tensions are high as the school board continues its efforts to merge the 2 county high schools. A meeting Tuesday ended in chaos when parents and board members argued over the merger plans. Our Alex Dieterer spoke with parents still reeling from that meeting.
This is our student resource officer here.
The regularly scheduled Nelson County School Board meeting ending abruptly after a tense exchange between board members and outbursts from the people who attended the meeting Tuesday night.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to this crap.
While I don't agree with disruption and yelling that happened last night, I think it happens because of no communication.
Melissa and Jeff Parrish have 5 kids in the Nelson County School District. They say parents feel ignored by a majority of the board, citing unanswered emails and 4 of the 5 board members not attending community forums.
If you're elected to be the voice of a community, but you don't listen to the community or show to any community event, when you make votes, where do you get your knowledge to raise your hand, yes or no?
While the parishes support Nelson County Superintendent Wes Bradley,
he is going to do what's best for children, no matter who they are or where they're from, period.
Other parents don't agree.
You have to own the situation. And the situation is, whether you think you did a good job or bad job, the district is divided and kids are suffering and teachers are under a lot of pressure, parents as well.
Dr. Peter Trzop has 1 child who graduated from the district and 1 who is currently a student. He says change will happen if the leadership in Nelson County changes.
I think sometimes we focus, it's just about kids. It's about teachers and it's about administrators, staff, and parents. There's so many people that make this work, and if we don't bring them all together, then there's no buy-in and we constantly have conflict.
While hope for parents still lingers, it looks like a long road ahead.
We never thought we would be here. We never thought it would take this long.
Alex Dieterer, WHAS11 on your side.
We reached out to all 5 board members, but only heard back from 2. Tracy Bowling called that meeting disappointing and does not support the meeting ending with unanswered questions. Nicole Milburn called it another example of the divisiveness in the community and a toxic situation within the district.